What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Take a Time Out. We had a 1 week hiatus, but I was sick, had some stuff go down, and I had the flu. This is my flu podcast right here. Um, First episode of the new year. So props to us. We made it to the new year, 2024. So let's get straight into it, man. We missed last week's games, but football went down and it's playoff time. So it's time to get into that stuff, get into the matchups and stuff like that. First, I want to start if you guys had any like winners or losers from the NFL season, regular season as a whole. Um, yeah, because I mean, of course, the list of losers is probably super duper long. Um, if I had to pick a winner myself, though, I would have to give the season to John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is not talked about as much as the Mike Tomlins or the Bill Belichick's or the you go on down the list, but I think the respect is deserved. I've loved what he's been doing, like in the locker room. It's pretty cool stuff. I don't know whether you're a Christian or not. The stuff that he's been having going on in the locker room is pretty sweet. So just him, just having the best team in the NFL on paper right now. So yeah. If I had to pick a loser though, I thought about this one for a while. Like, who do I want to pick as the loser? I'd have to go with Sean Payton. Um, yeah, he's losing the locker room, I think, a little bit, and we'll see how it plays in the next season. I mean, I think they'll be good probably, and he'll still have the reins and all that, but it's just Nate's talked about it, like starting and benching different quarterbacks, kind of like the Falcons did. We seen where that landed with Arthur Smith. Well, to just completely like derail and say no, like this is a team decision. You're not playing anymore. It's just a tough look. So that's probably my biggest winner and loser.
You gave up draft capital to go and get Sean Payton
Yeah.
and Russell Wilson, and we just all seen how that panned out. My biggest winner is not a team in specific, but it's a division, and that's the AFC North. When a 9-8 team is the worst team in the league, like that just goes to show how competitive that division was this year, and like the fact that the Bengals even had 9 wins, I'm still shocked about. But if I had to go as a loser, I'm not too sure.
I mean, we'll get into it in the off season for sure. We're gonna.
I'm not. There's so many losers.
Yeah, there's a lot of losers. There's.
Uh, if you can't think of one, I'll go. So my biggest winner is going to be the Green Bay Packers, and more specifically Jordan Love. At the beginning of the season, we kind of talked about how, he'd fill that void of historical quarterbacks, and me and Dom kind of predicted early this season that, the Packers were going to be just fine. They'd be kind of in that wild card spot, and that's exactly what they did. I think he exceeded expectation and has really came along the second half of the season. I think he's second in quarterback touchdowns or passing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to think about. I don't think we predicted him to be good, but we didn't expect him to, be, top two in passing touchdowns and leading a very young group of receivers. For the losers, it's just going to be the organization itself, just the Carolina Panthers. Uh, it's, I guess, only up from here, but you kind of wish you saw a little resemblance of hope with Bryce Young and with that offense. And the only good thing you're getting is I think they had the best passing defense, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
But to win what? They won one or two games?
One, I think.
One.
Yeah.
And just like not having that pick next year really hurts. It's just not having that draft capital in the future when there's so many holes missing, and there's that backlash of the owner and the GM saying that like they should have took Bryce Young, or they should have took CJ Stroud and all that type of stuff. I mean, that's just not what you want to hear, especially if you're Bryce Young. So they're definitely my loser.
Yeah, and it's boiling over on like all sides. Like the last game, the owner throws a drink on the fan. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's just starting. He's on paper like probably what looks like took over as Dan Snyder as the worst owner. Like just on all fronts of how he's running things. So not a good look. The little one won the playoff for Jordan Love thing, where you get to talk about him we get to talk about him. So that's just a win in itself because he's in the playoffs. But like Chris Collinsworth, last game he had him, just salivating over Jordan. Like he does this about a lot of guys. I love Chris Collinsworth, but he's just like salivating over him as he's speaking. And then they're showing clips of him throwing just like Aaron Rodgers. So it's great for Green Bay. I'm glad that you took over the Vikings because I don't want to see the Vikings in the playoffs. That wouldn't have been fun. But yeah, we'll get right into the playoffs, man. It's about to go down. It's probably my favorite time of the year for just sports in general. Just peak NFL playoff football, nothing like it, man. The first game that they got for us, it's on Saturday. It's the Browns are at the Texans. So a lot of narratives getting poured into this one. But I'm going to go with the Browns. This is a pick 'em, so I'm going to go with the Browns. A little on the Browns thing. I don't know, we didn't really talk about it, but if we all had to pick, like just consensus around all fans in general, it's probably 49ers Ravens. But if there was a team to knock off the Ravens, I think it's the Browns. Just the recipe that they play with, I think, is better for the Ravens. And this is going to be an interesting matchup because of the Texans' passing attack. But I think that the Browns slow this game down and they win. It's going to be a great win, though.
I think I'm also going to take the Browns here. I just think at the end of the day, just their defense has won them so many games throughout the season. And, like, as good as C.J. Stroud has been playing, like, that's the biggest factor is the Browns' defense in this game. The Texans also, like, they overachieved this year. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. Like, you're setting the foundation for years to come. So if you lose this game, this isn't that big of a deal because you have one of the best passers in the league already that you just drafted, and he took a 3-win team straight to the playoffs.
Yeah. None of us picked their over.
No.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Browns here. I think they get, is it Grant Delpit back?
Yep, Delpit's
Yeah,
playing.
Delpit's back. So that's going to be huge because of how much, the Texans rely on their passing game. And I think the Browns have the best, like, trio of corners. And so Stroud really hasn't played a secondary as good as the Browns. And like you said, I think Flacco kind of slows this game down. And if the Browns establish the running game, it could get early really quick.
Yeah.
But the big thing in this game is just for the Browns is just starting fast. They kind of did this last time they played the Texans. I know they didn't have C.J. Stroud, but if they start fast and get that lead, they can kind of use the clock to their advantage and, like you guys have said, slow this game down.
Yeah.
So give me the Browns.
Yeah, I really like the line here. It's Browns minus 2.5. Not even laying the 3, so it's a good opportunity, I think. This is the Saturday night game. This is gonna be on Peacock. Man, they're giving us Peacock games in the playoffs. Like, y'all need to chill. I don't know. It disturbs me a little
It's
bit.
all about the bag.
It really is, man. But honestly, on paper, like I know it's like Patrick Mahomes versus Tyreek Hill, but this is probably my least exciting game this week. It just is to me. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm going with the Chiefs. They're more battle tested as far as experience goes, and the Dolphins, man, they're just so beat up. I think this is a game where Chris Jones really comes to his own. Hasn't been talked about a lot, but he met his standard to get paid and incentive, all that. So I think he'll have a coming out party in this game, really wreck the Dolphins' offensive line. As far as scheme goes, like when you think about a team being able to run like a shell defense, the Chiefs have kind of done it effectively this year. And that's the one thing that's going to limit big plays is that's all that the shell really does. And it might limit them big plays that the Dolphins do, try to pull out of their pockets. So give me the Chiefs here.
I'm also going to take the Chiefs here as well. Playoff experience is a big factor when it comes into games like this, and you have a team like the Dolphins who don't have any playoff experience. I don't know. Going into Arrowhead, like, how many good teams have the Dolphins beat this year? Like, I can count maybe 2. Like, winning records,
One.
like, they need to win this game to prove themselves.
Yeah, Bills, Cowboys probably.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like, I feel like this is a lot for them to have to overcome. And I like Mike McDaniels as a head coach, and I think that they have a really like bright future. But I mean, it's hard to go into Arrowhead and win. Coming from a Bengals fan, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
This is actually my lock of the week. Give me Kansas City uh, plus the points. I think they say this game's going to be one chill's going to be almost like -15.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that point.
And the Dolphins are like 0-10 in their last 10 games when the weather's been below freezing or something like that. So when you take a team from Miami that solely relies on speed and all that stuff, it just doesn't blend well with cold weather. So I'm thinking about taking all my fantasy football winnings and just throwing it all on the Chiefs -3.5 just because I'm that confident. Mahomes can play in the cold. This team, as you guys mentioned, is battle tested. They've played in these cold playoff games before, so Chiefs all day, man.
And at the end of the day, like even though it was a London game, we've already seen them beat the Dolphins this year.
Yeah, shellacked them. Yeah, Mahomes been doing this since he was a Jet, man. I remember when he was playing the Patriots in that first cold game where he first made it to the playoffs, and they were playing in Foxborough. That was a real cold game. So, yeah, like you talked about. And as far as the Dolphins go, I kind of lost my train of thought, but just as far as they can't, I kind of lost it, but
Sorry.
it'll come back to me halfway through this, and I'll be mad. All right, Steelers are at the Bills. Man. Oh, this sparked it. The Dolphins really should have won that game last week because they'd be playing the Steelers, and it would kind of like flip their chances a little bit. And it sucks that they lost that game, but that was a great way to end the regular season. But yeah, Steelers are at the Bills. I'll let y'all fellas go first.
For me, this game, this spread, like I understand on paper this spread, like the Steelers who have been overachieving all year go into Buffalo. But here's the thing. The Steelers, you can argue who has the best defense in the league, but they're in the top two. And when you have a defense like that playing against Josh Allen, he is bound to make mistakes. Like, if he plays a clean game here, which he probably won't, the Bills should flood the Steelers. But I think those mistakes and it being a low-scoring game, I think it'll definitely be a low-scoring game. Like, I just don't see how the Steelers don't cover this. Now, are they going to win? No, probably not. But I don't know. I really like the Steelers to cover the spread right here.
9.5.
Yeah, that's a lot of points in a playoff game.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Nate. I think everyone's so high on the Bills right now, and the Steelers are missing T.J. Watt. They're kind of like overlooking the Steelers in a way. Not the team necessarily, but I think the public as a whole. I know probably all the money's on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, all this stuff. But I don't know. I'm not buying it yet just because of the mistakes that you mentioned, and that's what the Steelers are best at, is creating the quarterback to be uncomfortable and maximizing on those mistakes. So I like the Steelers plus 9.5. I think it'd kind of be a miracle if they won, but if it's a low-scoring game, like you said, that's the only way they can win this game. If it's like a 17-13 type of game.
And there's a real chance that it is, and they have thrived this year in winning those type of games.
Yeah, I mean when we all think it's going to be a low-scoring game, right?
Right.
In a low-scoring game, you don't win a game by 10 points.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
It's
true.
I mean, you think it's going to be
It's Vegas,
20
man.
to 10? I don't know, man.
They love Buffalo so much. Like, they just play with their money like that. And I feel like we just haven't capitalized on Vegas doing that because it puts this narrative in our own heads that the Bills are better than they really are. Yeah, so give me the Bills here. I think we're setting up a little. Your first 3 games of the playoffs, you throw it all in the parlay. Cleveland to cover, KC to cover, and then Pittsburgh to cover. I think you got a nice little something.
Already on top of it.
I like it.
I'll be locking that in after the show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, now this is where these next 2 games, this is my bread and butter right here, man. This is what I'm really excited about. When I talk about the Packers at Cowboys, What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Because I got something.
Aaron Rodgers throwing the dot to Jared Cook on the sideline.
Okay.
I got the Des Bryant catch.
That's what I got, man. I got the Des Bryant catch. So much controversy went into that. And now here we are, man. Packers and Cowboys, both good again. Man, this is going to be fun. Um, man, I really want to take the Packers. I really do. But the Cowboys, man, I just think, I just see them playing the 49ers. I just can see it now. It's great for the NFL. It looks good. If there was a script, they were writing this in the script. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They're a better team. But, man, I would love to see the young boys go out there and get a win. I think Christian Watson's going to play. That's always good for Jordan Love. They have a great dynamic matchup. But, man, it's going to be a good game, though.
I think I'm also going to lean Cowboys here. Like you said, I think this will actually arguably could be game of the week. I guess there's one more game that might be. But regardless, the biggest factor for me here is the game being in Dallas. And, like, the Cowboys have they dropped a home game this year? Maybe one?
No.
Yeah,
Not
it's
dropped
just,
a single
it's
one.
like,
Did they lose the Cardinals at home?
Nope. That was at
No, that was
Arizona. They are undefeated.
yeah,
Only
I
team.
mean, they're just, that's insane.
Yeah.
I think when you go and play a team like that, I mean, it's hard to fade. It's hard to fade them.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's crazy because I think this line, if it was Cowboys at Packers, I think it'd be Dallas maybe -3.5.
Yeah, I think so.
roughly.
Yeah.
And if it was at Green Bay, I would just straight up take Packers money line if I'm being honest. But because it's in Dallas, because they play like a whole different team, you just have to take them in this position.
Mm-hmm. All right. And this is my game of the week right here.
That's what I was thinking.
Rams are at the Lions. Woo. Man, talk about hot team right now. The Rams, man. If it wasn't for Stefanski, McVay would be coach of the year. There ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
We all took the Rams under. I'm pretty sure this year.
yeah.
Maybe not all of us.
I
but
mean,
I'm
I remember
pretty
us
sure majority of
discussing, like,
us.
it was going to be a down year. I think even
Mhm.
James was on, it's going to be a down year. And, man, were we wrong. I thought this was one of McVay's last years, and it just looks like he's just – I mean, if he doesn't want to take that broadcasting job, man, and there's a spot for him on every roster, man, because, wow, what a job he's done. But, man, I'm going to go with the Rams. I really am. I'm going with the Rams. When Nate talks about it a lot, is teams getting hot towards the end. And we've seen that, man. And they got this bell cow on Kyron Williams that came out of nowhere. And he really is a bell cow. It's kind of a little different from their last playoff run when they had Jared Goff and even when they won the Super Bowl, where they run the ball and establish the run and just play like that. And it's great because the play action game with Matthew Stafford is everything I want out of Kirk Cousins. Like, that is just great stuff that they're running there. And I think that the Lions, I've been saying it a little bit, are a little fraudulent. Might be a year too early. And, yeah, I hate to see the Lions go down this early because of their fans, but give me the Rams.
I'm right there with you. Actually, 2 nights ago, I put the Rams to go to the NFC Conference Championship because, like it's just something I believe that you have to get hot at the right time. And like you already mentioned, the Rams are probably one of the hottest teams in the playoffs right now. It's also a Stafford revenge game, so that's good for the clicks and just for the NFL and all. I don't know. Like you said, I think the Lions, like, they had a really good season this year, but they have dropped a lot of games recently that they probably shouldn't have lost.
Lost Laporta against us.
Yeah, and just like, I don't know. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to fade a team that's as hot as the Rams. So, I mean, I really like the Rams to, like I said, potentially make it to the championship game.
I kind of respect where you guys are going, but I'm going to kind of have to go the opposite direction here. As much as I think I'd like to see the Rams win, I think the Lions are a different animal after that Dallas game. I think they got a bad taste in their mouth. The Lions are really great at stopping the run, and the Rams rely so much on Kyron Williams to set up that play action game. So I think they shut that down a little. Like I said, they just got a bad taste in their mouth. You know, it's been 30 years since they've hosted a home playoff game that place at Ford Field's going to be bumping.
It is.
I like the Lions in the situation because I mean I feel like they're kind of getting disrespected. Not saying you guys are disrespecting them, but I think the public as a whole kind of has the same outlook you guys do.
Right.
And after that Cowboys game, man, I just think they're a pissed off team,
Yeah.
and I think they want to get to that point where they get the revenge on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for sure. I just like good coach. Of course, they love playing for him, but like playing your guys against the Vikings, I know you kind of like in a way you had to win the game, but in a way you really didn't. Like Laporta getting hurt in that game was just pure stupidity. Like at some point, the Ravens do it every year. They play people and get them hurt. Like stuff happens like that. But man, you did not need to play those guys that long in that crappy game where we can't even figure out who to start. Like it's tough look. But I hope to see the Lions go far. I really do. This last one, I mean, it looked a lot better a couple weeks ago. You know, Baker was really playing well, and Jalen Hurts had a finger, but Eagles are at the Bucks. So, you know, the Eagles are laying 2.5 points. It's Monday night.
Monday night playoff game.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where to go right here because you look at the Eagles who were playing to win the game the other day against James's Giants and got absolutely torched. That's not great going into the playoffs. And you had your starters in. It's not like you just had backups the entire time. I'll go first. Give me the Bucks. I think that this is probably I don't know. This could either be a really low scoring game or a complete shootout. I don't know how these teams are going to come into this game playing. But the Bucks at home, like with how the Eagles have been playing poorly recently, and it's not like the Bucks have been playing great, but I don't know. Just nothing the Eagles have done recently has given me any faith in them. So, I mean, until they win this game, I just have no stock in the Eagles right now.
Man, I want to pick the Bucks. I really do. It's like a battle in my head because I see a really easy game plan for the Bucks, and that would be to attack the Eagles secondary with just deep passes and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, because I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball effectively, but I think that they'll be able to throw, obviously. But I'm going to go with the Eagles sneaking it out. I think they get a little back to their identity, run the football, and just plow guys over and just get behind the offensive line. For one game, I think it will work, and they got a good matchup here in the Bucks. So give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm with Dom. I actually like the points as well. The only thing scary is Jalen Hurts' finger. Hopefully he's 100%. But even though they haven't looked great lately, the Eagles are still the Eagles. I mean, we're talking about a team that had the best record in the league at one point in the season that is defending NFC champions. So if they're going to win, I think it's going to be more than 3 points. So I'm confident that the Eagles cover here.
Just real quick, the Eagles, out of all the teams in the playoffs, are the most ice-cold team.
Yeah.
I know, but I think they have some of the most talent too.
They do.
And they have the experience. So, I mean,
that's true.
And if you had to pick another ice cold team, it'd probably be the Bucks.
Yeah.
They're up there. Like they just came off a really pitiful game against the Panthers.
No, trust me, I know.
So
9-0.
Yeah. So, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend. It's gonna be fun. Maybe we'll all get together. We'll see. But another episode went down. Check us out on social media. Gonna have clips coming out this week, and check it out, y'all. It's real, y'all. Peace.